Let W be a number. Translate the English phrase or sentence into a mathematical expression. Then evaluate the expression for W equals -5. So we have two things to do in this problem. First, we're going to want to translate, and then we're going to evaluate. So let's do the translation first here. So in this first problem, we have 5 less than the quotient of -20 and the number. Okay, so 5 less than. Less than is going to be a subtraction problem. But when we see less than, if I'm taking 5 less than something, that means that I need to start with the something and take 5 away from it. So this is the old subtraction flip. That -5 is going to end up at the end of the problem, not at the start of the problem. Now, what other information do I have here? I can see that we're going to be talking about a quotient. So remember that a quotient is referring to a division problem. So the quotient of -20 and the number, and they told us up in the original problem that the number that we want to be working with is W. So let's see if we can translate this. So 5 less than means that we're going to have to take 5 away from something. So there's my subtraction flip. What am I taking 5 less than? I'm taking 5 less than the quotient. So let's go ahead for quotient. We're going to use the fraction notation of -20 and the number. So -20 is going to go in the top of my quotient, and the number, which we're calling W, is going to end up in the denominator of my quotient. Now we've finished the translate part. Now we're going to evaluate for W equals -5. So we're going to take our expression that we just translated, -20, and that W we're going to replace with -5, because that's what they told us the value is that we want to be considering, and then subtract 5. And now we're going to work order of operations through this problem. So negative divided by a negative is a positive. So let me just move this up here. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. So positive 4 minus 5, and we know 4 minus 5 is -1. So there's the answer to the evaluation. So two answers here. Here's my translation, and here's the answer to my evaluation. Let's take a look at the second problem. 7 plus, so certainly plus would mean addition, the product. Product means we're going to be multiplying. Multiplying what? The product of the number, well, we know the number we're dealing with is W, and then they tell us -2. And notice they put the negative in words, so we want to be sure that when we translate that out, we give that the negative sign there. So 7 plus. So let's go ahead and get that piece down. And notice, folks, when we, there's that word 7, so I put the 7 there. Notice we basically have all the pieces. We just need to rearrange things a little bit. We have 7 plus the product. Now remember, product is multiplying. What are we multiplying? We're multiplying W and -2. So we want to be sure when we write that W times -2, we want to be sure that that negative holds on to that W. So using juxtaposition for our multiplication will really help us. This shows W times -2. Now, just like we did above, we're going to do an evaluation for W equals -5. So we have 7 plus W. Now our W is going to slip out, and in its place we're going to slip in the -5 times that -2, and then we're going to follow our order of operations. We're going to multiply before we add or subtract, because that's what order of operation tells us to do. 7 plus -5 times -2 is a positive 10. So 7 plus 10 would give us our final answer of 17. And that would be the answer to the evaluate part, and here's the answer to our translate part.